Vangul, our horrible race, decided that they wanted to conquer humanity. They wanted to steal all of our resources, kill all of our women and children, destroy the whole human race. They're these reptilian creatures, and they are not friendly. We just received word from an outpost in the outer reaches of this star system that they've been attacked by a swarm of Vangul, and that they're requesting assistance from our squadron. So I've been dispatched, and this here is my Hornet, and it's got a pretty badass minigun there. It also has a turret that's on the very top. It's really hard to see. It's got a powerful engine that's going to enable us to travel at amazing speeds. And so we're going to go out, defend our outpost, defend humanity, and hopefully make it home in time for supper. So guys, this is Star Citizen. This is, different from I guess the hangar module in the fact that I can actually now fly. They've just released Arena Commander, formerly known as the dogfighting module, into the Star Citizen game. So now everyone can enjoy the dogfighting, the flying whatchamacallits of this game. And I'll tell you a story in a little bit about my first experience with this. Just a day ago. It just came out 2 days ago. It came out, I believe it was on the 3rd at like 10 or something like that. I waited all night to play this game, finally finding out that they had forgotten to patch something in it, so you actually couldn't even load it in. Anyways, here you can see this is sort of the menu screen, the screen that you can use. Anyways, here we are out near this mining outpost, and we're just waiting for the Vangul storm to come in. But anyways, I thought I'd give you guys a little idea how the controls work. Basically, you see that little cursor that's moving all around in my HUD. Basically, that's how you control the ship. You move it to the edges of the screen. You're gonna move your ship that direction. You control that using your mouse, obviously. You guys will notice what I did first was I targeted the Vangul swarm or Vangul ship right there. And something I didn't really know for quite a while when I first started playing this was that you actually you need to target. Basically, I think you press R on the keyboard, it's your nearest target. But you can also press T, I think, and Y to cycle through different targets. And this is actually really important that you acquire targets in a reasonable fashion. Like, you don't want to acquire somebody that's way out in the distance. And there you can see I got my first kill. Basically, you usually want to press R just so you get your closest target. And yeah, so basically you'll also notice that when I'm moving around and stuff, when I'm firing right now, you notice there's different sort of geometric shapes that pop up when I'm trying to fire at the enemy. Basically, this is from what I've seen. Now, I want you guys to let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, because there isn't really any sort of manual or any sort of thing that's gonna let you know how to play this game. It's basically you hop in, you sort of gotta learn it for yourself. And so, if there's anything I say in this video that seems incorrect to you guys, let me know in the comments below. I really want to know so I can be corrected. And yeah, basically, from what I've seen, if you see right now, I have a diamond, a green diamond. That's really what I'm going for most of the time, because what that lets me know is I can use both sets of cannons, or at the very least I can use my top cannon. Basically, as I said, I have a minigun, 2 miniguns that are on the wingtips of my Hornet here, and I have a sort of top turret that can fire laser bolts. And so basically I have 2 types of weapons. I actually really have 3, because you have a missile launcher as well. But basically I have, if I right click, I can use these anyways, I'm a noob at this game if you guys haven't noticed. But basically, as I was going to say, if you right click, you get to use your miniguns, which actually have a little bit of a warm-up time. You need to hold it down a little bit, sort of like the miniguns that you have in Team Fortress 2, where if you have to hold it down for a few seconds before you actually get some bullets firing out of the chamber. But anyways, the top one fires right away. That's your laser cannon. And yeah, also, if I middle click my mouse, you can actually fire missiles, which you need to acquire a lock first. So it takes about maybe like 2-3 seconds if you've got a clear shot on your enemy. Looks like if you move too much, so if you move your ship around, you'll break the lock. So the lock is a pretty fragile block. You really don't want to move around too much. You want to take them usually probably a distance. Yeah, anyways, the controls, I'll let you guys know, basically my beginning starting experience with this game. At first I was gonna say I was about to post a video, or not post a video, but I was about to start editing a video where I was gonna talk about how this game I'm a little bit disappointed in the flying system. Basically, I didn't know that I had to actually lock on to people. I thought it was completely, oh, I see somebody, okay, well I have to lead them on. And what happens if I don't lock someone on? I have to manually sort of shoot the lasers, and I have to lead the ship where it's gonna go. And in a game like this, where there's constantly moving around, things like that, it's nearly impossible. I didn't kill anyone, and I was playing it for nearly an hour. And as you can see here, I've gotten what, 2, 3, almost 4 kills, I want to say. Like, it's it's pretty cool, and it's also really satisfying when you get a kill. But anyways, yeah, back to the story. I couldn't kill anyone, and so I was looking at YouTube videos like, what am I doing wrong? And little did I know, you need to lock, because that way you get, as I said, the different geometric shapes. You get the diamond there, or you get the circle, that are gonna let you know that you've locked on, and that if you click right now, you have a pretty high chance of hitting. Now, that being said, if you shoot someone while you have that diamond lock, or you have that circle lock or whatever, that's not a guaranteed hit. Basically, what I like to liken it to is in your ship here, you've got predictive software. And what that stuff is going to do is it's going to predict where that ship is going to go. So the closer you get to the ship, the higher probability that you're going to hit that thing. If you're shooting it from miles away or whatever, it's not going to be able to predict as well. As you can see here, guys, I just wanted to show you in this clip that just the detail they put into these ships. You can see all the little thrusters. I don't know if you guys have ever watched like a lot of sci-fi shows, but there's shows like Battlestar Galactica is what this game really feels like. It feels like a mix between Battlestar Galactica and Star Wars. And there you can see I'm trying to make a lock so I can show you guys what the missiles look like. I'm not sure if I shot one yet. Yeah, I mean, killing people in this game, you'll also notice, anyways, killing people in this game is super satisfying. So as I said, I couldn't kill anybody for like the first hour of my playthrough because I didn't know how to lock on. So you really need to lock on. Ugh. Boy, that was a close one there. But yeah, you need to lock on in order to get that predictive software going, so you can shoot at enemies. It'll let you know if you're gonna have a high probability of hitting, and it's gonna lead on. But what I was also gonna say is the controls in this game. At first, I thought that they were a little bit clunky. I had a hard time with them. You can't really make some super sharp turns or anything, because what you're doing to move is basically sort of like what you do if you had like a console or something. You're having to drag something to the side of the screen, and that's what's moving you. It's almost like a console control or something like that. And at first I didn't like that, but the more I thought about it, how can you really make a game like this where you need to be able to aim, you need to be able to target, and you need to be able to move? There's no way you have enough hands. If you had a third hand, maybe you could move the ship using the arrow keys or something, but there's really no other way. So in hindsight, after I was looking back at this and thinking about it, this is really the best control system you can get for this. And it was a little bit tough to get used to, but after I've been playing it for a while, I gotta say the controls started to grow on me, and I really feel like this is probably the best control system, and it's really not all that bad. What you guys see here is I actually got I think I either collided with something or I got shot. And so what's happened is there's a realistic damage model. So as you can see in the top left hand corner of the screen, you're seeing some red, you're seeing some yellow on the hull of my ship. That's letting me know that some of my ship isn't quite functioning properly. And actually, if you'll notice, I've actually lost a good portion of the tail rudders. What this has actually done for me is decreased the maneuverability of my ship. My ship, it's sort of hard to tell from the clip here, but my ship is not maneuvering as well as it was when I had first started. No other game has that level of detail. You really can only find that in Star Citizen. It's absolutely amazing what these guys have done with these ships, the detail they put into it, and it's it's amazing. If you guys get a chance to play this, I don't think they're still doing alpha backers, unfortunately. But if you guys did, back for the alpha, if you guys pledged anything, you guys definitely want to try this out. And if you ever get a chance and you guys are not in, I don't know, I'm gonna look into it, look and see if you didn't pledge or anything like that, how can you get into this, because I really think you guys, if you like anything it's sci-fi, if you like Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, all those guys, this is going to be a game for you. There you can see I launched a missile. I don't really know how you launch countermeasures right now, and I'm not sure if they've been implemented well. When I was looking at some patch notes, they said that countermeasures aren't really working the way they're supposed to be. They're not blocking, I should say. They're not distracting missiles, so you can't launch them and then have the missile just go and it just sort of misses. What's happening is it's bypassing that. It's sort of a bug that they actually had in, I think, Battlefield 4 when it first came out. They had a little bit of bugs where the countermeasures weren't really functioning the way they're supposed to be. But yeah, as you can see there in that small little clip when I was outside the ship, you can see there's actual physical damage on the ship. Some of my thrusters have been destroyed. You can see that as I said, my tail has been basically blown off. But yeah, so that damage model really is pretty amazing. Alright, so I'm gonna try to not talk for too much longer here and let you guys just enjoy the gameplay and maybe enjoy it for yourselves, hopefully. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is one of the actually most important things I've experienced with this game, or one of the most important features that I've seen, is actually the fact that you're actually in space. So I keep likening this to, Star Wars, Star Trek, all those classic sci-fi TV shows. So those have really been the only things that we have as an example in media to compare, what would it be like if you had giant space battles in space. Most video games even follow, sort of the models that those TV shows use. Star Citizen takes those models that you see in TV shows, uses some aspects of it to make sure that this game is going to be fun, that you're going to enjoy it, and uses other aspects from real life, from what it would actually be like if you were flying around at these different speeds in a little capsule that's got a rocket strapped on the bottom that has some miniguns and chain guns and laser guns attached to it. So, what do I mean by that? G-forces. Newtonic drifting, I think it's called, or something like that. Decoupling your... Okay, what am I trying to get at here is there's all sorts of maneuvers that you can do in this game that you aren't able to do in other, flying games, World War II flying games, modern day shooter flying games, any flying games, because you're in space. You're freaking in space, guys. So, if you guys have watched Battlestar Galactica, you'll know, and if you haven't, then I'll let you know. There's some maneuvers they do in that show that are actually some of the most realistic things that you could do in space. That being said, they sometimes in that show didn't take into account G-forces. This game does. This game takes into account G-forces. So, if you start zipping all around and you start making really hard turns, you start making your ship do an all stop and things like that, you're going to start getting, I think it's like screen fuzziness. You can see there I got hit, and that was pretty cool hit. Like I was flying all over the place. I don't know if that was an example of the G-forces. I know I've seen in a previous Star Citizen developer video, they showed that if you start moving, like if you started going in a circle and you started moving yourself, the screen starts to get dizzy, starts to get fuzzy. And I'm not sure, but you might actually get knocked out in the game, which, obviously would happen in real life. As you can see, I think now, because of that hit, I'm now down to one minigun. It knocked off the minigun on my wing. So I'm just down to one cannon here. I gotta take out these last guys. But yeah, so the maneuverability and all that stuff, you're able to use the same maneuvers or whatever that you would in space. So let's say, you'll see me actually, before I continue, you'll see me here, I'll uncouple. What that means is that I'm going to all of a sudden stop in space, and then I can start strafing my spaceship the same way you would in a first-person shooter. So if I press A, I'm going to move straight to the left. If I press D, I'm going to move straight to the right. And so this opens up some really crazy maneuvers that you can do that really are just... It's really weird, and you really have to get used to it. And I think the people that start right now, that start mastering these maneuvers, are going to do really well in the full game once it's released. because it's really hard to get used to. As I said, there's also a Newtonian brake. So I don't know if you saw there, that Vangul ship right there. It actually, I think it used its Newtonian brake because whoa. Okay, that was this part. Got way too close to this satellite, and here I am using the uncoupling thing. I'm moving backwards. I'm maneuvering using strafing and things like that. And then boom, if I couple my ship again, it acts the same way a plane would or something. You know, you're moving forward and you're flying around like that. But you basically have the option to act as sort of like a Harrier or something in space, because you're able to strafe, you're able to move back and forth, and move up and down. You can control whether you move up, like on the Z axis, you move up or down. And so yeah, this, if you employ that, so in some of these firefights, you'll see you can keep an eye on the middle right of my HUD. There's something that says coupled and some other things. When I'm coupled, that means I'm flying the same way you would in, you know, Star Wars or something. You're flying straight forward and you're moving up and down to control your pitch. If you see that that's turned off, what I'm doing is I'm using my mouse. I'm still aiming, I'm still moving the ship that way, but if I press W, I move forward. If I press A, I move to the left. If I press D, I move to the right. I'm strafing around the same way I would if I had stopped my ship and I was in like something like a helicopter. I guess that's the best thing to liken it to. But really, as I've been saying, it's sort of hard to describe. You sort of have to play it and experience it for yourself so you can feel what I mean. But maybe I'll do like a maneuvering tutorial or something like that. But anyways, Vangul here starting to get the upper hand of me as they're slowly crippling my ship down to its last minigun. So something tells me I'm not going to be lasting too much longer out here. We've got a new wave that's incoming, a new group of enemies, and not only that, we've got a leader, we've got a commander, so he's going to be a little bit more smart. The AI in this game is actually pretty good. I haven't been able to play with other players because I don't think they've implemented that yet. They have the little button there, but it's grayed out in the menu screen. So hopefully that'll be the next thing I can bring you. Or actually, the next thing I'll probably bring you to is playing in the 300i. This, as I said, is the Hornet class ship, and it's sort of like the X-Wing of the universe, of the Star Citizen universe. It's really cool. Unfortunately, my shields are now down, and things aren't looking too great for my pilot. I've lost a lot of my shields, my ship is crippled, and I'm swirling out in space, unable to control it. I'm gonna eject, and hopefully they'll ignore me. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you guys got the game, hopefully you've learned a little bit on how to control it. Oh boy, sparks are flying in there, and things aren't looking too hot right now. Anyways, let me know if you guys liked the video. Leave me a like, comment, rating, subscribe, all that good stuff. It all is pretty awesome. But till next time, see you guys in the next video.